George Clooney is more than just a beloved actor. He's a global icon, a humanitarian, and a man admired for his elegance, talent, and resilience. For years, fans have seen him as almost untouchable, a figure who seemed to transcend the usual fragility of life. But behind the flashing lights, red carpets, and blockbuster films, something deeply personal and heartbreaking has been unfolding. Recent reports reveal that Clooney has been dealing with a health condition far more serious than anyone anticipated. Doctors delivered a diagnosis that stunned not only George but those closest to him. When Amal Clooney, his wife and renowned human rights lawyer, was informed of the truth, she reportedly broke down in tears outside the clinic. Witnesses described her as devastated, unable to compose herself after hearing what could change their lives forever. The diagnosis came after weeks of rumors about Clooney's declining health. Those close to him noticed his sudden weight loss, fatigue, and frequent visits to a private clinic. But when doctors finally gave their assessment, it was worse than expected. Sources describe it as a serious and life-altering condition, one that requires immediate treatment, ongoing monitoring, and could reshape Clooney's future both personally and professionally. Doctors explained to the couple that the condition wasn't something that could be brushed off or ignored. It was not a fleeting illness but a diagnosis that required constant care and potential long-term adjustments. For Amal, who has always stood by George's side as his strongest supporter, the revelation was too much to bear. Reports claim she collapsed outside the clinic, overwhelmed by the weight of what she had just heard. While George has always been the public figure, Amal has been the anchor, the steady force who has balanced their marriage, careers, and family. Known for her strength and composure in courtrooms and international cases, Amal is not someone easily shaken. Yet this diagnosis cut her deeply. The thought of potentially losing her husband, the father of their children, and her partner in life, shattered the strong exterior she is known for. Those close to the Clooneys describe Amal as torn between her professional responsibilities and her personal anguish. While she continues to show up for her clients and causes, the emotional toll is evident. Her recent appearances have shown a subdued side of her, as though the weight of the diagnosis is never far from her mind. Despite the seriousness of the condition, George Clooney is said to be handling it with quiet courage. Friends say he remains determined to keep fighting, not just for himself but for his family. He has reportedly told those closest to him that his biggest concern is not his own health, but how Amal and their children are coping with the news. Clooney has long been admired for his charisma and humor, but now he's revealing a different side, one of resilience, faith, and hope. In private conversations, he has expressed gratitude for the life he's lived, while also admitting his fears about the future. For fans who have idolized him for decades, it's a sobering reminder that even the brightest stars are still human. Perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this diagnosis is its impact on the Clooneys' family. George and Amal are parents to twins, who are still young and deeply attached to both their mother and father. For them, the news may not fully make sense, but the emotional tension in the household is unmistakable. George, always protective of his family, has reportedly made it his mission to ensure that his children never feel fear or uncertainty, even as he battles his condition. Friends of the family say George continues to smile around his children, telling stories, playing with them, and ensuring their daily lives remain filled with laughter. Behind closed doors, however, the battle is real, and the strength required to balance it all is unimaginable. The road ahead for George Clooney is uncertain. Doctors have recommended strict treatments and lifestyle changes, and while Clooney is said to be cooperating fully, the reality remains daunting. His film projects, public appearances, and philanthropic work may all take a backseat as he focuses on his health. For Amal, the future is now about balancing her career with her role as George's supporter. Friends say she has already started to cut back on her workload to spend more time with him, a sign of how deeply committed she is to his recovery. Hollywood, fans, and indeed the world will be watching closely. George Clooney's fight is no longer just his own. It has become a shared struggle for everyone who loves and admires him. George Clooney's tragic diagnosis is a sobering reminder that life is fragile, no matter who you are. Fame, fortune, and global admiration cannot shield anyone from the trials of health and mortality. Yet within this moment of heartbreak, we also see courage, resilience, and the power of love. If you want to stay informed about every update in this deeply emotional story, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell right now. Your support keeps us going, and together, we'll continue to follow this journey of love, courage, and hope. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of George's fight and Amal's heartbreaking reaction? Share your messages of support, they just might reach the Clooneys.